AP items in Season 14 caught a lot of people's attention as things like Storm Surge and Maligma have become premier choices for anyone that can use them. But there's a new 80 item called Sundered Sky that's honestly pretty insane in its own right, and Lee Sin's a great user for this item. But just this item alone is not why I think Lee Sin's strong. I'll explain the build and rune page and you can try it out for yourself. Alright, let's get into it. First, Lethality got changed to flat, which means that if you have 9 Lethality, you take off 9 armor. Pretty simple, it doesn't do any sort of scaling anymore, flat is just. This means it's a big buff to Lethality in the early game, which means it's a big buff to sudden impact, which means it's a big buff to anyone who can activate it often, and if you can activate it often, you just straight up do more damage. Lee Sin's Q and W are dashes, and if you're a Psycho, flashing actually gives you a little bit more damage as well. Doesn't always work out though, so you didn't hear from me. Number 2, Ingenious Hunter, but hopefully you already saw that video, so we'll skip right to the point. More war jumps. Yes, it actually affects trinket cooldown, and Lee Sin happens to be one of the only jungle champions who actually needs their trinket a ton. Other champions being like Fiddle, maybe Jax, etc. Additionally, you can just take Zombie Ward, you're going to be dropping a ton of wards. It's only 1 gold to the enemy team, and it can really annoy them a lot. Also for the Keystone, you can choose between Electrocute as well as Dark Harvest. There's an argument to be made for Dark Harvest where you can stack it a ton. Otherwise, Electrocute's pretty solid, you just get a little bit of damage out there. Number 3, Triple Tonic, a new rune in the Inspiration tree that gives you 3 elixirs at level 3, 6, and 9. You don't have to care about the first 2 for now, you just need to know the third one. At level 9, you gain an Elixir of Skill, which can be consumed to gain a whole skill point. The reason why it's so strong on Lee Sin is because he's one of the few champions that actually has 3 strong abilities and not just 1 or 2. You gain an insane amount of sustain through points in W, as well as ramping up your EZ load to an 80%, as well as, base damage and stuff. The earlier you get either of these, the better. And while we're at it, you can also select Cosmic Insight as well, which gives you additional item haste as well as 45 seconds off your flash. Pretty good. I don't think I have to explain why that's good. Now, I'm not just trying to name off every positive about these runes and say like, look, it's good, like I'm some fucking silver player. I'm just trying to explain it in full, so I just give you the entire rune page, okay? Obviously, there are other runes that are very good, like Shield Bash, that benefit from Lee Sin's W and Eclipse proccing, or even like Revitalize, which gives you a whopping 5% heal and shield power. Okay, but seriously though, yeah, you can take Conquer and just take Ingenious in the secondary with sudden impact. You don't actually have to do the entire rune page. Just tinker with it, Okay, finally, let's talk about the items. Sundered Sky and Eclipse are going to be your 2 item core. I mean, this is pretty much non-negotiable in this build. They both benefit from item haste. You have to get these ones. They give you some AD, HP, and some haste. All pretty good stats on you. And honestly, because they're on the exact same cooldown, 4 seconds once you have max stacks, you can do some crazy turnaround plays as long as you're keeping track of those 4 seconds, right? You can just look at Eclipse and you'll be good to go. Eclipse is also slightly cheaper, so your second item comes out faster if you choose to build Sunder first, or you can spike earlier if you do Eclipse first. I mean, they both build from Caulfield, so if you just build that in the early game, you can be a bastard and keep your options open like Guan Yi. Whether you build Sundered or Eclipse first is dependent on a ton of different variables. Just, for example, like if you're against a lot of melees like a tank jungler, tank support, and a fighter top, you would probably benefit more from Sunder procs compared to just like 1 Eclipse shield. But if you calculate that you won't be able to finish it in time for like the second grubs or something, just leave the extra longsword, don't turn it into a tunneler, go pickaxe and finish a fast Eclipse to get some power for those little nuggets, or like, any early game objective. Now, tank items are super tanky. You can honestly build any of them 3rd and 4th to round out your build, because you'll pretty much have every stat you need except resistance. So on your 3rd and 4th item, I would definitely recommend, I don't know, like Fimbulwinter if you're a troll like me, or actually be a real person. Be like a Spirit Visage if they have like 2+ AP, get a ton of healing. Sit on a Spectre's Cal if there's only like 1 AP and he's actually like hitting you. Otherwise, like, you don't have to. You can go like any armor item really. Randuin's pretty solid. You can even go Unending Despair if you'd like to. Honestly, it might not be the best on Lee Sin, but if you're going in all the time, maybe you get value out of it. Sterix Gauge is actually a really good item though, I will say, because it actually gives tenacity now. So if you had to go Ninja Tabbies, but you couldn't pick up, Urktrise as a result, you might as well just get some Sterix Gauge, tenacity, pick that shit up right away, assuming you can actually make use of it. I might explore that idea in the future video, by the way, the idea of actually using tenacity. But yeah, you can go with it. This is just like the basic framework. I feel like there are a lot of things that you can do. I hope you enjoy, and that's my little meta report. Okay,